Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Teen Talk Central. In this week's episode, we're talking all about senioritis and how to stay motivated without burning out when it's the last semester of high school ever. If this is something that you can relate to, something that you want to learn more about, then definitely continue listening to this week's episode of Teen Talk Central. Hey guys, it's Mia and welcome back to another episode. This week I wanted to talk about senioritis because it's second semester of my senior year and I feel like a lot of people are kind of in this time where they're really unmotivated. Your college apps are in, you're probably starting to hear back from colleges, your grades don't matter the most anymore, and you're probably just trying to survive. And trust me, I get it. I've been talking to a lot of people who are going to my university and they're like, yeah, girl, I have no motivation. Like, we're in college. Why can't I just skip 5 months and graduate? And I totally get that. But obviously, we still have to finish school and we have to graduate before we can go to college. So I kind of wanted to talk about like what senioritis is and then how you can try to fix it, or at least try to kind of I don't know, like just make it more manageable. So I want to start off by saying what senioritis is actually and what it's not. So senioritis is not like you being lazy. It's like the mental fatigue that you feel after years of pressure of, you trying to figure out where you're going to college and like planning out the rest of your life. And it hits both high school seniors and college students because in high school you have the pressure of trying to go to college, and then in college it's basically the pressure of finding a job and like living in the real world. And this mismatch between external expectations and the internal kind of fatigue and energy you feel creates this like this senioritis. And the mismatch is like, externally you still have to like finish school and like graduate, but internally you're kind of like the button is off for school. You're just so unmotivated. You're like, oh, I don't really care anymore. Let me just like get through it, and it like nothing I do matters. And motivation drops because, especially when you are at this time where it's like you don't have as much structure, there's like less deadlines. I feel like with college apps there was always deadlines, like, oh, this college app is due this day, and it can feel like you're kind of in this limbo because there's like no deadlines for you to kind of check up on yourself on, and long-term goals feel really abstract and they kind of like disconnect from daily work, and your burnout kind of disguises as like, I don't really care anymore, or like senioritis. And I feel like what people do is like they try to cover up what their burnout really is like, because at the end of the day senioritis is a type of burnout, like the point blank simple. And I feel like the mistake that people try to make when they're trying to fix it is like forcing productivity instead of like adjusting your expectations, because at the end of the day, if you're burnt out, like there's truly nothing more that you can do to push yourself. So instead you have to change the expectations that you have on yourself to be able to manage the next kind of like era of your life. And comparing current outputs to peak stress versions of yourself is kind of not the way to go, because obviously when you were super stressed about like all the college app stuff, you were able to produce a lot of results because you were under so much pressure. But now that you're in college, it's like the pressure's gone and you still have to like try to make results, which is going to be really hard. I cannot even lie to you. And even for me, it's like I try really hard to like focus on school and stuff, but at the end of the day I'm just kind of out of it, and I've like lowered my expectations for myself, and like I'm not aiming for all straight A's anymore. Like I've changed my goals to something that's a bit more realistic for where I am in my life right now. And I think you're thinking motivation has to come before action is another thing that people kind of mistake, is you have to like have an action before the motivation comes, because if you like don't have something that you're wanting to do, then obviously there's going to be no output that's created. And so it's really important for you to kind of like have a list of things and like actions that you want to accomplish, and then from there the motivation could come. Next I want to talk about like what has like kind of helped me with like my personal senioritis. So this is kind of like realistic expectations for yourself that you can put. The first one for me was shifting from doing everything to doing what matters. So like there's certain classes that I'm just like religion or AP African American. Like yes, it's an AP, but it's not my top priority. So I just have to like finish it, but it's not like what matters the most. What matters the most to me is like AP Bio, AP Stats, classes that I'll actually end up using in my college career and throughout the rest of my life. Also focusing on internships or outside of work jobs are really important, and doing what matters to you. I also think that you should kind of give yourself some more leeway and do a lighter structure of your daily life. Don't force yourself to do things that you don't want to do anymore. And really just like relax and be yourself and get rid of those rigid routines that you could have and these like kind of over the top expectations that you can be putting on yourselves. And another thing is to kind of redefine success for the season. And I think just for this little era of your life, you should redefine it, the success, to be like, at least I can get through it, or I have the privilege of doing this. Because if you still think of success as like having straight A's but you're mentally burnt out but you don't realize you're burnt out, it's going to be so much harder for you to accomplish these goals. And success could literally just mean, okay, I got through the day and I was able to get all my work done. And as long as you acknowledge the burnout that you're experiencing and then redefine your version of success, I think that's fine. And as long as it's temporary and it allows you to kind of relax, that is 100% okay. And at the end of the day, senioritis is a signal, not a flaw. It's just a signal to your brain that you need to take a break and you just need to relax a little bit. You shouldn't be forcing yourself to do something that you don't want to do. You should never have to, but especially when it's senioritis, it's your brain's mental cue of, hey, I'm tired, I need a break. So give yourself a break because you deserve a break. And I think you should finish strong without pretending that you're at 100%. It's okay to be at 70% or 30%. As long as you are real and raw with yourself, I think that's fine. And again, understanding yourself is the most important and beautiful thing that you could do when it comes to anything, especially when you're at this stage of your life, even if you're in high school or in college. Because you're about to embark on this crazy new chapter. If you're in high school, you're about to start living alone for the first time, going to college, taking a lot harder of classes than you're used to. If you're in college, you're obviously about to head into the real world, or maybe you're going to graduate medical school, whatever. And it's so important for you to just take time to yourself. And as always, you should let enough be enough. You shouldn't always need to have more or like try to improve every single thing that you do. Obviously, we're all about improving in balance, but that doesn't mean that you have to change so much. Sometimes you just have to let yourself be enough. And I think motivation isn't something that you lost. It's something that needs different conditions now, and is something that needs a little bit of extra pixie dust, and it needs a break, and it needs to rest and recharge, just like your phone. As always, this is just like from personal experience. That doesn't mean that you should just give up on everything right now, and that doesn't mean I'm giving up on everything right now. It just means that your brain needs a break. I hope, you guys realize that you're not lazy. It's just losing a little bit of motivation. And that's okay. That's normal. That's human. Don't let social media think that that's weird. As always, thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. If you guys have any episode recommendations, requests, whatever, as always, you can DM us on Instagram at Teen Talk Central, or you can comment down below on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in another amazing episode of Teen Talk Central.